All right, so here's some exercises you can do using isometrics, commonly for plantar fasciitis, or you can use these to strengthen the ankle complex. So this is a combination of stuff from the researcher Dr. Keith Barr, I've had on my podcast, and then also the ankle rocker series from Coach Cal Dietz and Chris Corfus. So I'll show you the positions we can do. I've modified these a little bit to make them a little bit more simpler to start. The goal when you're doing an isometric, so an isometric is just a fancy word for as you're contracting the muscle, the joint isn't moving. So if I were to do a wall sit, so like here, and if I was up against a wall, my legs would be contracting very hard and would start to burn after a while, but my knees and my joints wouldn't really be moving. So isometric is a muscle contraction without any necessary movement. The reason you feel the burning sensation after a while is the muscle is still working to hold you there, and it's also pulling on some of the soft tissue. So one of the theories of when you have kind of soft tissue issues is you have an area of what they call stress shielding. So you can imagine that you've got some fibers in the soft tissue that are just taking the load all the time. So if I do one type of a lift, it's a very short, or it's like an impulse, and it's going to take the path of least resistance. So it's going to bypass some other fibers, and it's going to keep taking that same path all the time. When you do an isometric, you're holding it long enough that it has to start picking other fibers now to start to use. So you're reducing what's called that stress shielding effect, and you're actually starting to very lightly get into those fibers that might not be aligned real well, might not be functioning so good. So the key when you start to do the isometric is take about 3 seconds to get to the contraction. Again, the reason for that is we're trying to reduce that impulse load, and we just want it to be really, really gradual, kind of like you're turning on the light switch, but take it like 3 or even 4 seconds for the light to get all the way bright. Same thing with the muscle, we'll show you how to do that. At the end of usually about 20 to 30 seconds of the isometric, same thing, turn it off over that 3 to 4 seconds, just gently removing the overall force on that. If you want to get really crazy, you can add collagen as a dietary supplement, 12 to 15 grams of collagen, the small amount, 60 milligrams of vitamin C, 40 to 60 minutes before these exercises. You can go to MikeTNelsonCollagen.com for collagen there. So here's how to do them. So this would be the level 1, or the easiest version. And this is going to be with a straight leg. So I'll do this on the stair here so you can see. And the simplest goal at first is, you can even do these flat if you want, but I'll show it on the stair, is let's say it's my right that I'm primarily working on. I like doing the staircase, so I'm going to go here, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to go as high up as I can on the ball of my foot on both legs. But now, since I primarily want to work on the right one, my option is to slowly move some of that load over to my right side. And now I can offload my body weight as much as I can on the stairs. The goal is to keep that high position the whole time. So I'm probably going to move a little bit more forward and offload my weight a little bit more. And you want to keep that on for 20 to 30 seconds. Sometimes you might have to use your opposite foot to help you. That's perfectly fine. So if I'm here, I'll just do like a split stance. I can then offload some load to that other foot. Again, the key is once I find that high position, I'm going to take 3 to 4 seconds to slowly transfer the load to that. So the second position is going to be what's called a low position. So I'm going to be the same thing here. But you're going to notice my heel is going to be dropping down below the stair. I'm going to be pushing through the ball of my foot. So I'm not just hanging out on my soft tissue. I'm still actively contracting the whole time. But if you were to look at the angle of my foot, you'll see that the heel will be below the stair. So again, you would slowly ramp up to 3 seconds to get to that position. Hold that position for 20 to 30 seconds. Slowly ramp back off. These do not have to be super high load, so when in doubt, actually offload more so that the load on the tissue is actually lighter. You should easily make the 30 seconds with like a RP of a 6 or a 7. RP is just rating and perceived exertion. So the last position is just going to be a flat position. I'm going to have part of my foot on. So position 1 was all the way up. Position 2 was all the way down. And then position 3 is I'm just going to have my foot, it's just going to be flat. So again, I can use this other foot to kind of offload a little bit. I can hold on to the stairs. I'm pushing through the ball of my foot. So just about the front part of my foot is on the stair. And then it's just going to be a flat position. So those would be the first positions that you would do for that. Test it out. Let me know how it goes.